On today's show, we're going to go live from the LSU softball game for a preview of tonight's Tilt versus Southern Miss and take a look back at the baseball victory last night over Baton Rouge rival Southern.
And Reggie Chatman joins the show to talk about some important dates and announcements from LSU football. And we went out to the streets to ask students what they think of the possible changes to tailgating. Some of their answers may surprise you.
That's right. Sit back, relax, fast break.
Do it now. Start it.
What's young Reggie in the back? What's he doing? He's throwing stuff. Iceman! Stay frosty. Oh, I will.
Welcome, one and all, to another edition of the Fast Break. I'm Taylor Curette.
And I'm Brian Pellerin. Thanks for joining us. Well, we'll get a busy show, so let's get started right away with the LSU baseball team. The Tigers coming out of a series win this weekend against SEC rival Auburn. The Tigers returned to the safe confines of Alex Box Stadium, where they began a 6-game homestand last night versus Southern Jaguars. Pulmonary handed the ball to sophomore Jesse Stallings, who went 1 inning for the Tigers, but gave up no hits and no runs, only using 9 pitches. The Tigers started the scoring early as first baseman Greg Dykman singled to score Antoine Duplantis for the first run in the bottom of the first, and from there the Tigers would take over and dominate the Jaguars both on offense and defense. LSU used 8 pitchers throughout the game to limit the Jaguars to 9 hits and just 1 run while collecting 13 strikeouts in the process. LSU went on to get the victory 11-1 over Southern to improve to 19-9 on the year. The Tigers will stay at home for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series against the number 6 ranked Vanderbilt Commodores.
Well, the LSU softball team will look to get back on track tonight versus Southern Miss, and Max Hawkins is at Tiger Park ahead of tonight's game. Max, how's it going?
Guys, we're here live at Tiger Park where the LSU Tigers are coming to face the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles. LSU coming in this game with a 28-9 record. Southern Mississippi not quite as good with an 18-20 record. LSU's ranked number 8 in the country. Now, this is the first meeting for these two teams since 2011. LSU won that game 2-0. Now, on a more personal note, assistant coach Howard Dobson, it's going to be kind of a weird game for him. Well, he coached Southern Mississippi 4 years ago, and Constance Quinn, she's a native of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Now, for Tiger TV, this is Max Hawkins, Taylor and Brian. Back to you at the desk.
Come back to 1. Thanks, Max. We'll be sure to stay with Tiger TV on Twitter throughout the game for updates. ESPN estimates that over 21.5 million kids in America play youth sports, but should children play sports year-round, or should there be limits? Our producer, Derek Kopp, has more on this developing issue.
In America, it is common practice for parents to encourage their children to play multiple sports at a young age. One trend, however, that is becoming increasingly popular is the specialization of one sport at a young age. Something Carrie Wilkerson, the association's sports director for the Capital City YMCA, believes must change.
I think it's probably become a little bit too focused, narrowed down as to the choices that kids have. They tend to think that they're only going to be a basketball player, and I have a strong, different opinion about that.
According to the National Council of Youth Sports, there has been a steady growth in youth participation since 1987. Youths now have the ability to play their sport of choice year-round. Next Level Basketball founder and coach Jim McCart understands the pull to multiple sports, but also believes it is important for the players to make the final decision.
I simply tell them this: which sport do you like and which sport do you love? If you like them both, you need to try to continue playing both. If you love one, that's where your concentration needs to be.
As the pressure to select a sport is on the youth, the pressure to make sure the child is properly prepared is on the parents. LSU professor Dr. Ray Castle believes that parents need to do their due diligence to make sure their child is in the best situation even before they step on the field.
The parents need to investigate it and say, what are you doing to, before they even step on the field, what are you doing for strength conditioning? Is there a plan? What are they doing for conditioning to be prepared just to practice.
Playing multiple sports can burn an athlete out, as around 40% of youths lose interest in sports, something Coach McCart knows how to solve.
You know how to make it fun again? You got to get good. Once you get good, it becomes fun again. To get good, you got to put in the time and the work and the energy on the right stuff.
For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Derek Kopp.
Youth sports development and sports specialization will continue to be a hot topic with more and more travel teams popping up. If you would like more information on proper youth development in sports, you can go to thesportanddev.org.
Coming up after the break, it may be 150 days till the Tigers kick off against Wisconsin, but the team made some pretty exciting announcements yesterday. I'll have all that and more after the break. Hello everyone and welcome back to Fast Break. My name is Reggie Chatman and football fans rejoice. We are only 150 days away from LSU's opening football game, which will be held and played in the historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. In celebration, the LSU football team released a short video to keep the excitement up, so take a look. Now, with football starting to come back into the spotlight, new news and events with the team continue to be announced. The first of which is that two-sport athlete Dante Jackson has been ruled academically ineligible for the spring semester. The 5'11 sophomore had a good year last year, recording 25 tackles as a reserve last season. Les Miles made use of his speed and athleticism on special teams. Because he's academically ineligible, he's also not allowed to compete in the outdoor track season this year. He starred in the 100-meter dash and was supposed to be part of this year's 4x100 relay team. The team also announced that they will be taking on SEC foe Missouri in this upcoming year's homecoming game on October 1st. This year's gold game will be September 17th against Mississippi State, and senior night will be held November 19th against FCS opponent South Alabama. Now, in the near future, the annual LSU spring game will be played this month on the 16th and will be superseded by a block party with fun activities for kids of all ages. LSU Student Day will be held next Thursday at Tiger Stadium as well. Coming up after the break, Taylor, Brian, and I take a closer look at some of the proposed changes to LSU's tailgating, find out how they will impact you and game days after the break.
Well, guys, there's proposed changes to LSU tailgating for the fall. I don't know if you've heard about it. The university is actually holding a town hall meeting as we speak in the Union. You know, there's been talk of 3 options, one of them being a communal bar in the middle of the parade grounds. Talk about limit binge drinking, all that sort of stuff, underage drinking. I decided to go out there and get some feedback from the LSU students themselves.
What have you heard about the proposed changes for the LSU tailgating?
Something along the lines that LSU hates America and freedom.
It's my understanding that they want to limit the, I guess the binge drinking is what they're saying, but I'm not so sure it's actually about that.
I think they're kind of pointless, to be honest.
I see where they're coming from and trying to make more responsible drinkers, but all you're going to do is they're going to go elsewhere on campus, which then you can't control. People are still going to drink.
Squirrely, what do you think about these tailgating rules, man? It's taken away from all the beer.
I am very much unbiased when it comes towards Greek life, but I feel like this is a direct attack on them.
I see where they're coming from. They're trying to have good ideas. They're not.
Great, tasty jungle juice. You love jungle juice.
They want to place restrictions on things like furniture, like the couches, the TVs, because somehow those affect the tailgating experience.
Oh, it's going to put a bummer on the whole day. You're going to show up to the stadium not having fun, already in an upset mood.
I mean, we're going to have to go with whatever the university, So hopefully at these meetings, people are getting their opinions across and they're going to listen to what we have to say.
I heard something about how the parade grounds is military history and tradition. As a veteran, I see that, but so is LSU tailgating, and about the most American thing I can think of. So I feel like they shouldn't be limiting our freedoms.
America. America, may God thy gold refine.
Great stuff, Taylor. Well, I'm a Brother Martin guy myself, so a Catholic League shout-out. Some guys from the St. Aug Film Department here behind us to come and check out the show. Guys, thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming to our live audience. We really appreciate it. That's all the time we have for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it at home. Reggie Chatman, Brian Pellerin, St. Augustine Film Department. See y'all later.